Hey you! Yes, you. Do you want to become a millionaire in just 5 daily and simple steps? Then you are in the right place. In this video, I will show you how to grow your mindset in just 5 steps. First, let's understand what is the performance gap. 1. What is the performance gap? Imagine that you are standing on the bank of a wide, deep river. On the bank where you are standing is where your life is now, perhaps a job that pays the bills, a routine that you already know but that doesn't satisfy you completely. On the other side of the river is the island of your dreams. It's not just any island, but a place where everything you want is waiting for you. The freedom to choose how to live your day, enough money to carry out any plan, security for your family and the possibility of never worrying about bills at the end of the month again. Now, look at the space between you and the island. It's empty, a river with no bridges, no boats, no visible shortcuts. This space represents what we call the performance gap. It's the distance between where you are now and where you want to be. Sounds scary, doesn't it? And that's exactly why many people stop here. They look at the river, feel like it's impossible to cross, and end up giving up on their dreams before they even start. But what really is this performance gap? It's not just an empty space. It's the difference between the skills you have today and the ones you need to develop. It's the knowledge you haven't acquired yet. It's the work you haven't done yet. It's the space where you learn, grow, and become the person who is ready to achieve your dreams. The problem is that people often get stuck in this space. They get lost trying to cross it. They try to swim against the current, make a huge effort, but end up getting tired and returning to the shore. Others start building a bridge, but give up halfway because it seems too difficult. And there are those who don't even try. They look at the gap and say, "This isn't for me." But here's the secret, there is a way to cross this gap. And those who can do it efficiently achieve their dreams faster. Imagine a solid, direct bridge, built to take you from where you are to the island of your dreams. This bridge doesn't appear out of nowhere. It needs to be built, piece by piece. And the 3 most important pieces are, effort, focus, and problem solving. And here's the most important part of all, not just any problem will help you build this bridge. The bigger the problem you solve, the faster and stronger your bridge will be. Solving small problems is like trying to throw pebbles into the river and hope they form a path. It takes too long and doesn't work. But when you learn to deal with big, challenging problems that few people can solve, your bridge takes shape quickly. Closing the performance gap is all about transforming the distance between you and your dreams into a direct path, built with effort and strategy. And you know what? It doesn't matter where you are right now. It doesn't matter if you think you don't have special talent, money, or resources. The bridge doesn't build itself, but with the right tools, you can cross that river and achieve everything you want. So, now that you understand what the performance gap is, the question is, are you ready to start building your bridge and take the first steps towards the island of your dreams? 2. Discovering your value zone. Now that you understand what the performance gap is, let's talk about how to start bridging it. To do this, we need to discover something very important, your value zone. Think about it, it would be impossible to build a solid bridge if you didn't know what materials to use, right? The value zone is like the best materials for your bridge. It combines everything you love to do, what you're good at, and what people are willing to pay for. Imagine 3 circles that overlap, forming an intersection in the middle. This space in the center is your value zone, and it's unique to each person. Now, I'm going to help you build yours. First, take a sheet of paper and draw 3 circles that intersect in the center, like a Venn diagram. In one of them, you're going to write down everything you love to do. What makes you feel alive? What would you do even if no one was paying you for it? It could be anything, dancing, drawing, playing video games, taking care of plants, anything that excites you. In the second circle, write down what you are good at. Here, think about the skills you already have. It could be something you learned in school, at work, or on your own. It doesn't have to be anything extraordinary, just things that you know you excel at, like communicating well, solving problems, or even being creative. In the third circle, write down things that people would be willing to pay for. This could be any skill or service that has value in the market. For example, people will pay to learn things, to solve specific problems, or even for entertainment. Think about what you could offer that would help or bring something good to someone's life. Now, look at the center where the 3 circles meet. This is your golden point, the value zone. This is where you will find the perfect balance between passion, skill, and demand. For example, if you love to draw, are good at it, and know that people will pay for custom illustrations, this is the way to go. Many people fall into a common trap here. They choose something that is only in one of the circles and think that is enough. Imagine someone who decides to follow a path just because they love it, like playing the guitar, but doesn't develop the skills necessary to be excellent at it and also chooses a market that is not willing to pay well. In a short time, what was a passion becomes a source of frustration. On the other hand, there are those who choose something just because they are good at it, but don't like it, or because it pays well, even though they hate the activity. Have you ever seen people who spend years in a job they hate, just because the salary is high? They may even have money, but they live unhappy and tired. The value zone solves this problem. It ensures that you choose something that makes your heart sing, that takes advantage of your best skills, and that has a market willing to reward you for it. And the best part, working in your value zone doesn't feel like a sacrifice. Of course it requires effort, but it is the kind of effort that makes you grow and feel proud of yourself. When I discovered my value zone, I realized that I could combine my passion for creating model helicopters with my ability to build and sell things. I knew that there were people willing to pay for quality products, so I invested everything in it. I opened my own store, created my brand, and turned a simple passion into a global business. So, now that you understand the importance of the value zone, how about taking the first step? Grab a pen and paper, draw your diagram, and start filling it in. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time, you can adjust it as you get to know yourself better. This simple exercise can be the beginning of building your bridge to cross the performance gap and achieve your dreams. Before we get into the next topic, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. This way, you will receive all the new videos that will come out. Now, let's get right into the number 3. 3. Choosing the right vehicle to achieve your goals. Now that you've found your value zone, it's time to decide which vehicle will get you there the fastest. Imagine you want to travel to a faraway destination, but you're not sure whether to take a car, a motorcycle, or even a bicycle. Choosing the right vehicle can make all the difference in the time and energy it takes to get there. Likewise, choosing the right vehicle to generate money and build wealth is essential to bridging the performance gap. The first thing to consider is that you'll need two types of vehicles, one to actively make money, what we call an active vehicle, and another to invest that money and grow your wealth passively, the passive vehicle. Let's explore both. The active vehicle is like a high-performance engine, it propels you forward quickly. Imagine you're riding a sports bike, ready to go full throttle and achieve great results in a short amount of time. A classic example of an active vehicle is a service business. Why? Because a service usually requires less upfront investment compared to producing a product and can start generating money much faster. For example, if you decide to open a consulting service for something you already know, like social media, digital marketing, or even gardening, you can start with very few resources. You don't need to create a product or invest in inventory. Just find people who need your help, set prices, and get started. If you enjoy teaching, communicating, or solving problems, this could be the perfect opportunity to use your value zone. There are many options for active vehicles, such as creating content on YouTube, offering design services, photography, or even coaching and mentoring. The key is to choose something that aligns with what you love, is good at, and what the market is willing to pay for. But remember, the more aligned your active vehicle is with your value zone, the faster you will progress. Now, the passive vehicle is a little different. It's like a touring car, not as fast, but very stable and reliable. You will use this vehicle to invest the money you actively earn and let it grow over time. Instead of having to constantly work to earn more, your money starts working for you. A good example of a passive vehicle is investing in stocks. Instead of constantly chasing money, you put your money into assets that appreciate in value over time. Imagine investing in a fund that buys shares of solid companies, such as the SEP 500, which includes the 500 largest companies in the US. Over time, your investments will grow, without you having to do much other than monitor the market from time to time. Investing in the stock market or in mutual funds may seem complex, but with the right strategy, it can be a safe and effective way to increase your wealth over time. And the best part, this is a passive process, where you dedicate some of your time to learning, but then the money grows on its own, through the power of compound interest. The key to quick financial success is to align the two vehicles well. The active vehicle generates the energy needed to kickstart your financial growth process, while the passive vehicle ensures that, over time, you continue to grow without having to spend as much energy. If you only focus on one of them, you may end up getting stuck in an endless cycle. If you only focus on the active vehicle, you may end up working too much and not having time to rest or invest wisely. On the other hand, if you only invest passively, it may take much longer to reach your financial goals. The combination of both is what accelerates the process and puts you on the right path to becoming a millionaire. So, now that you understand how to choose the right vehicle, it's time to decide, which one will you start using? The active vehicle will give you the necessary boost, but the passive vehicle will help you build a solid foundation and ensure that your wealth grows over time. By doing so, you will be closer to reaching your goal and overcoming the performance gap. 4. focusing on limited resources and avoiding distraction. Now that you have the right vehicles for generating money and investing, it's time to talk about a crucial point: how to use your limited resources wisely. What do I mean by that? Well, we all have three main and limited resources: money, time, and energy. You may be able to increase your income or your wealth, but the time and energy you have are finite. When you're trying to achieve a big goal, like becoming a millionaire, the key to success is knowing where to put your resources and where not to spread them thin. The more you try to divide your time, money, and energy between multiple activities, the harder it will be to achieve your dreams. I invite you to do a simple exercise. Grab a sheet of paper and 3 different colored pens. Now, make a list of everything you do in a week. This could include your work, time with your family, leisure activities, food, studies, anything. Then, draw a graph of these items and divide it into segments based on how much time you spend on each activity. Now, use one color to mark how much money you spend on each of these activities, another color to mark how much time you dedicate to them, and finally, use a third color to represent the amount of energy each of them requires from you. When you're done, you'll clearly see where you're spending the most resources. Many people try to do everything at once and end up getting distracted. They see a new opportunity and think, "That's great, I'll try that too." And so they jump around, without focusing on a single thing. This is the famous shiny object syndrome. Everything seems like a good idea at first, but without focus, it's easy to get lost. Have been there? At first, I tried to do several things at once, thinking that more projects meant more chances of success. But in the end, what I realized was that by trying to do everything, I was doing nothing well. And without a clear focus, results took much longer to appear. That's why, if you want to achieve your goal faster, you need to focus your efforts on a single path, instead of spreading your energy across several fronts. To focus on what really matters, you need to make sacrifices. And that doesn't just mean working harder, it means choosing what's most important and giving up some distractions. If you really want to achieve your goal, you need to be able to say no to things that don't directly contribute to your financial growth. In my case, when I was focused on building my first business, I had to sacrifice a lot of things. I spent less time with my friends, I gave up some leisure activities, and I focused completely on my work. I knew that, for a while, this would be necessary to achieve my goals. The secret was that I didn't let these distractions take up my time and energy. Remember, balance comes later. First, you need to focus intensely on what will make a difference. Once you reach a certain level of success, you can start to restore balance to your life, but in the beginning, it is essential to maintain absolute focus. Another important point is to know when you are overextending yourself. Focusing too much on a single goal without taking a break can result in mental exhaustion. But, as I said before, in the beginning, you will need to work hard and in a focused manner. The key is to find the balance between intense effort and moments of rest. A rested body and mind are much more productive in the long run. When you focus your resources, time, money, and energy on the activities that will truly take you to the next level, you will find that progress comes faster. The key is to learn to prioritize. This can be challenging, but it is one of the most important things for anyone seeking quick success. By doing this, you will begin to close the performance gap, because you are maximizing the use of your limited resources towards your ultimate goal, becoming a millionaire. Now that you understand all of the base, you need to know how to deal with obstacles. Before we get into that, make sure you hit that like button down below in order to make YouTube's algorithm understand that you want more videos like this. Now, let's get into the last topic. 5. Overcoming obstacles and not letting them be excuses. Now that you know how to optimize your time, money, and energy, let's talk about something that is inevitable on the path to success: obstacles. No matter who you are or where you are in your journey, you will always encounter difficulties along the way. This is completely normal. The big secret is to not let these obstacles become excuses for not moving forward. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that obstacles are valid reasons to give up. For example, you might think, "I can't start a business because I don't have enough money," or "I can't be successful because I don't have the necessary qualifications." These are excuses, not real obstacles. Real obstacles are things like not having access to a good education or having to face a competitive market. Excuses are those stories you tell yourself to justify why you couldn't do something. I myself faced many obstacles at the beginning of my journey. I had no academic background, I was labeled as lazy by my teachers, and to top it off, I was even mistreated by my first boss. This could have been the end of my dreams, but I decided that I would not let these difficulties become excuses for not fighting for what I wanted. Instead of settling for my limitations, I looked for creative ways to overcome each obstacle that appeared. When you encounter an obstacle in your path, Instead of feeling defeated, ask yourself, if I could overcome this, what would I do to get around this problem? By changing your perspective and treating obstacles as a challenge to be overcome, you begin to create creative solutions that help you move forward. It may seem difficult at first, but I can assure you that when you start thinking this way, things become clearer. The idea here is that even if you have difficulties, never let them take control of your life. It is as if each obstacle is an opportunity to learn something new. Over time, this will make you stronger and more prepared for success. The key to closing the performance gap and achieving your goals is persistence. When you start seeing obstacles as part of the process, you will realize that with each challenge you overcome, you are closer to your goal. The only thing that can stop you from achieving what you want is giving up. Persistence is also key when things don't happen as quickly as you would like. For example, in the beginning, progress may be very slow, and this can be discouraging. But believe me, when you keep moving forward, even if it's slow, in the end you will look back and realize how much you have grown. The key is to not lose focus. When difficulties arise, remember, obstacles are not the end, they are just part of the journey. If you keep trying to find solutions and persist, you will realize that there is nothing that can really stop you from succeeding, unless you let fear or excuses take over. Finally, use obstacles as fuel for your motivation. In my case, all the hardships I faced, from a lack of formal education to challenges with my bosses, were experiences that taught me something important and gave me more strength to move forward. If you are willing to transform your struggles into learning and strength, you will be on an unbeatable path to success. With each obstacle, you will become stronger. With each difficulty, you will learn something new. And when you look back, you will realize that all these difficult experiences were exactly what shaped you to achieve success. With all that information, you need to understand that just by knowing the steps won't get you anywhere. You will need to take action daily in order to grow your wealth. So, make sure to subscribe to receive more videos like this, hit the like button down below and comment what you want to see in the next videos. See you next time.